interaction between countries
Uh-huh.
and nations. And
Okay. Anyone else want to say something about this topic?
In my
Maybe it's
opinion,
gonna.
yeah, yeah, keep going.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Michael. Michael, go ahead.
Maybe it's gonna be a rough explanation of this term,
Go ahead.
but
It's new. It's a new term
my,
for some people.
my point is, every country with their own authentic features, customs, they borrow another customs from other cultures, and that's why we have so-called international culture, worldwide international culture.
Good, good. That's a good explanation. I like how you use the terminology borrow because we do borrow from each other's cultures. I mean, here in my country, in the United States, we borrow a lot of things from other countries. I mean, I'm just thinking right now, the hamburger and how that comes from Germany, and we made it our own. We have our McDonald's. That's what people always say. You're from America, so you must like McDonald's. I don't really like McDonald's, but I will go there and eat there if that's an option. If that's the only option that I have some in other countries sometimes. Um
Here comes one small example of
go ahead.
globalization. Were no potatoes in Ukraine and in Europe in general before America had been discovered.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. So we did have a lot of vegetables and fruits from the Americas sent to the European countries. So yeah, it's true. Like
Yes,
a lot of different things.
and on the other hand, there were no horses in America before discovery. They were delivered from Europe, as far as I know. Maybe I'm mistaken, but
I think so. I'm not sure.
I read
I'm
some
not sure.
articles.
I think so, but I'm not really sure about horses. But I mean, I had horses when I was a kid, but I don't know about when the country was being founded if we had horses. But you know what? We had a lot of different types of animals that are like very regional animals here. I told you guys last week we were talking about Thanksgiving, and I showed you pictures of turkey. So like we have those here. Like those are like a native animal here. It used to be everywhere. Like a turkey would be in all over in this region. So, but now they've been farmed and kind of kept into. But we have a lot of those here. A lot of turkeys in our country. So that's kind of one of the things that's really big. So globalization,
Bro, what is the most
Dexter.
typical food in United States, bro?
What's the most what?
Typical food in United States, bro.
Difficult food?
typical.
Typical. I'm sorry. Typical. So a typical.
Typical. I said
Okay, I heard you. Yeah. No, I said turkey. Turkey's like we don't eat it all the time, but it is like a type of meat that's like everywhere. We have a lot of turkeys here, so we have turkey sandwiches for lunch and turkey turkey and dressing for Thanksgiving. But we borrow this globalization, Dexter. Globalization, we borrow from Germany. So like we have German sausages, we have Italian food, so we eat pizza and pasta. So that's globalization. So we're borrowing from these markets. We have olives that comes from Spain. Like we have these like international imports. So this is products from different countries.
yeah.
This is in my book. I put a section on vocabulary. So we're imports, exports, things that come from other countries. This is part of globalization. Things that go to different countries from other countries. This is part of globalization. So think about this picture right here. You have a network of different countries communicating with each other about products, influencing each other through globalization. I know America has a huge influence over the world through our movies and our culture, our music. It's all over, embedded in every country. When I was traveling to different countries, I go into different airports, and I hear rap music, American rap music in German airport. I'm like, wow, like these guys are listening to American rap music at the German in Frankfurt airport. I'm just going through the airport and I'm at a music store. I'm at a music store and they're playing like American rap. So this is like a kind of like a globalization. You're using your kind of like your corporate lead, you're spreading your influence through corporations and through business and even the internet, something simple as the internet. We're having this class right now. This is an example of globalization. We have someone from China in here. We have someone from El Salvador in here. We have someone from Ukraine, all of Russia, we have this room full of people. We have Saudi Arabia in here. We have different people in here. So that's good. Regulations. So this is a big important word, regulations. In Germany we call it die Regeln, like the regulations. These are the rules. When I lived in Germany, I always had rules for everything. There's a rule for everything. Here in the United States, not so much. We have like our main rules, like I told you guys last week, being on time. But when we talk about regulations, we're talking more about like the laws, like things that we follow, things that are important that you have to do. If you don't do it, there is a consequence. There's something that's going to follow you. There's a punishment. Okay, you get smacked. You get smacked, but not physically. Okay? So rules, laws. Like that. So that's kind of what we say when we talk about regulations. Regulations kind of guide the things that we do. What does it mean to adapt? What does that word mean? What is adapt?
It means to take.
Maybe for children, when someone who doesn't have parents and some family take these children.
It's adopt.
Adopt.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me
adapt. It's
go ahead, Michael.
To get accustomed to something.
Okay.
To rules, to traditions, whatever.
So can somebody
to get used to something new.
Yes. Look at
something unfamiliar.
Look at this picture of these guys in this class. These are American students. What do you notice about them adapting to their environment? Like what's some things that you can say about this picture?
They are wearing masks and they are adapting to the pandemic situation.
Absolutely. What else?
I'm on the same page with
this guy using a computer.
Yeah, they're using masks. They're also using computers. Computers are we're doing everything from our smartphone devices, our phones, and we're doing everything from our computers now because of this situation that we're in. So now we're adapting to survive. I have to wear, when I go to my building at school, when I go to my school, I have to wear this mask on my face. And this is me trying to adapt to our situation. This is our school mascot. It's called the Bulldogs.
Nice print.
We're called the Bulldogs. But yeah, I mean, this is trying to adapt to a situation. We're learning to survive. We have this kind of hierarchy of needs. You have to adapt to survive a situation, right? So this being put in a situation, like living in a different country, for example, if you go to, Russia, or you go to America and you're studying or you're living, you're adapting because you're in a different culture. You're in a different world. And so I talk about this a lot in my book. And if you don't have it, I'll send it to you. I'll send you a PDF of this. Okay, please don't share it with anyone else. This is your personal copy. Okay, when I send that to you, because I do, I do make money off of this book, and I just want to be careful with who I give it to.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next.
But the better mean is to survive adapting.
Yeah, we're talking about survival. This is the same as adapt. You're in a situation, you're in a different country, you're learning a different language, to adapt to, like many of you are learning English to adapt to this Western economy that's kind of driving the rest of the world, so you're kind of adapting to that by learning English. So that's an example. I'm learning English to adapt to the Western, economy.
Mhm.
Customer service. What does this word mean? I have a picture here. Actually, I have a couple of pictures for this word. What is customer service? This is really important in English.
I think it is a service that deals with customers, obviously.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Can I get some more feedback? Anyone else? I want to hear from who else is in this room. Matthew, say something.
Okay. Yeah, I can see you, Jeremy, see on my face.
Wow.
Okay.
Welcome. Tell us something about customer service.
Yeah.
Let me give you another picture. Hold on. To kind of help explain this. Yeah.
It's
Tell us what that means.
what about woman? About woman. Yeah. She calls these clients. For example,
Yeah.
if you, for example, clients to want to buy in internet market, for example.
Okay. So sales,
And-
buying, client.
Yeah.
These are all things
Buying.
that customer service.
Uh-huh.
Good, Matthew. Somebody else tell me we have
Delivery issue. Delivery.
good. Somebody else let me go back. Sorry. So we have these 5 things up here. We have these 3 pictures up here. We have one woman, she's on the phone, she's delivering customer service, she's talking to clients. What do you notice about her face? Look at her face. Somebody tell me about her
She
face.
looks happy, bro.
Yeah, she's happy, she's beautiful.
She's smiling.
Smile.
She's smiling. She's what are some words can we describe her use to describe her? What are some vocabulary words or phrases?
Happiness.
She's
Happiness.
happy. She's happy. She's smiling.
Yeah.
Dima.
Or she's pretending to be like that.
She's adorable.
Yeah. Well, somebody says she's pretending.
Drug.
So
Because mostly it's truth in these situations.
So in my country,
Marijuana.
let me tell you. No, if she was on marijuana, she would not be looking like that. Let me tell you, a person
It's
that's on marijuana.
illegal every state of America.
No, it's not.
And,
It's not. It's not illegal in every state in America. It's 100% illegal in Colorado. It's 100% legal in California. I think we have a couple. The rest of 15 states are medical. It's legally medical. So like if I want to go to my doctor and say, hey, I need some marijuana to help me get through my injury, you can get a prescription. You can get a prescription legally here. I can get a prescription from my doctor legally in this state. It's medically legal. But doctors in my state, they don't really prescribe it. Like they always kind of make an excuse not to prescribe. Because trust me, I asked my doctor for it. And he made an excuse not to give it to me. He didn't want me to have it. But it's legal. It's becoming more and more legal every year, every election. Every election, each state, a new state has it legally. Anyway, let's go back to this topic of customer service. So this is kind of really, really important. If you deliver really good customer service, 5-star, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is what drives customers. So in America, let me tell you something about America. I've been to some of your countries, and let me tell you, I've had some bad experiences with customer service in some of your countries. I'm not going to say which one, but in America, that's our number one thing we want. We always drive for 5-star customer service, which means we treat our clients, we treat our customers extra special. So if we make a mistake and you see the mistake, we try to fix the mistake. We try to correct it. And when we're selling stuff to you and you're in our business, we go extra mile, and you're always right. Okay. Customer's always right. We always make sure that you're right. That's kind of like the gold star standard, the 5-star standard is make the customer happy, be friendly, be polite to them. Okay. You may say, oh, that's so fake. Americans are so fake, but this is kind of like how we drive our business. This is what keeps our economy flowing. When we give you a good experience and you come back, we're making more money. Okay. You see what I'm saying? We want you to come back. So we're going to be nice, to keep your business. You're paying for a product. You should have a good experience. Okay. Any questions, any comments about that? I want to hear your opinions. What do you think about that?
People in our country tend to take this attitude as well about customer is always right and everything.
Well,
we even have this saying in Russian.
This one time in Kiev, I've been to Kiev. This one time in Kiev, I went to a restaurant. I didn't talk about this in my book, but I did go to this one restaurant in Kiev. It was like a bistro. It was like an Asian bistro in Kiev, and I forgot the name of it. I can find the name of it. I had a kind of a weird experience there, but everyone was nice. Like everyone was nice when I was in the country. Everyone was very nice to me, but I did have one restaurant experience that I wasn't too happy about it. A fly kind of flew into my food, and I told the waiter, and I asked for the manager. I said, look, you can't expect me to pay for this, not this, because a fly is in this. I told the manager that. I said, not like I'll pay for the food, but this is an expensive kind of drink. You need to give me another one and don't charge me for the other one. I just wanted the guy to just not charge me for the drink. I would have paid for the food, no problem, but the drink, yeah, no, that was one of my experiences. But every other experience there was great. Every other experience I had in Kiev was great. Every other restaurant was great, but that one experience was not great. And he was arguing with me, and I was like, no, I'm not.
It happens. It happens.
It happens here too. But if it happens to you here, you have to tell upper management, and mainly what they'll do, they'll give you something. You'll get something. Like you'll get a free meal, or you'll get something. They'll give you something. If your experience is really bad and they see it, they witness it, someone witnesses your experience, it could be a waiter, it could be another customer, you get something free. You get something. But I love Kiev. I love Kiev. I had fun there. I had a lot of fun there. All right. So this is kind of like a conversational sentence. You can put anything right here. I didn't want to make it like a multiple choice. It says, can someone read this? Volunteer reader.
Communication is key to blank in the international job market.
Okay. So what could we put in that blank? Communication is key to You can use any word that you have in your vocabulary. That makes sense.
Success.
That makes logical sense.
What about success?
I like that word. I didn't think anyone was going to think of that. Success. Who said that?
Me. It's
Oh,
me.
good. Good, Roman. Yeah, so you could say success. Communication is key to success in the international job market. It's so critical, guys, and you guys know that. Being able to properly communicate with someone can make the difference. All right, now I need volunteer readers. Roman, you did great. I want to hear from some of my other guests. I need 2 volunteers, one person to be Greg and one person to be Jeremy.
Me.
Who wants to be Greg?
I can be Greg.
Okay, Michael will be Greg. Zane, are you there? I want Zane to read.
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you read
I'm here,
Jeremy?
Jerry.
Can you read Jeremy? Can you be Jeremy?
Yeah, I can be Jeremy.
Okay,
Yeah,
Mike.
definitely.
Okay, Michael, you'll start with Greg. Start reading at the top, and then Zane will be Jeremy.
Okay, let's kick off.
Jeremy.
Hi,
Let's go.
Jeremy. Have you heard the news? The company is planning to expand globally, starting with Indonesia and more to come. What do you think about it?
Actually, I'm very proud to see how we have grown. I think we should make the most of it. But needless to say, I have many questions and concerns.
I agree. For instance, I'm wondering what the company's culture will be like in global business, and is our pricing even suitable for the international market?
Okay, good.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
We're gonna stop right there. Okay, so there's a couple of questions about globalization. And did you understand this? I mean, what are they talking about? Tell me what they're talking about. What's the conversation about?
This conversation is about a company. Presumably, it's a company where Greg and Jeremy work in,
Mhm.
and this company is gonna expand to other countries,
Yeah, and what country?
and
do they think
they're planning to start with Indonesia.
Indonesia. Yeah, they're exactly right, Michael.
It's a first step.
Absolutely. And Zane, tell me about Jeremy. What is he talking about?
About Jeremy.
Yeah,
Okay.
what does he say?
Um,
What did he say?
Jeremy. Let me think about it. I think Jeremy. She's not very happy.
He.
I mean,
You
she
using the wrong-
has a lot of
You-
concerns.
he. Use the pronoun he.
Yeah. Hey.
There you go.
Sorry.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has questions. He has some concerns about this global transition. What if it doesn't work? What if it fails? What if we can't connect well with the Indonesian? He's thinking about all the things that can go wrong. So it's actually good to have someone like that you on your team, like someone that can think about the things that go wrong, because it allows you to problem solve. Okay, so I need another volunteer to read the next section. Two more volunteers.
I'm up as usual.
Okay, Roman, and I want to hear someone else who hasn't did anything or hasn't said anything much. Dima, would you like to read the next section as well?
Yes,
Okay, so
let's do it.
So Roman, you will read Greg. Dima, you will read Jeremy in the next section. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So go ahead and start with Greg.
Besides cultural differences and proper pricing, what do you think about the challenges that NIS would be dealing with?
I strongly believe that foreign law and regulation currency unpredictability.
Unpredictability. It's a big
Up-
word.
Unpredictability and finding the right team or partner should be added to the list.
Well, the keys to success will be understanding the demands, finding the competitive edge, as well as having a flexible marketing team that is willing to adapt prices and promotions within regional markets and their needs.
Okay, so what is Greg talking about in the first paragraph? What does he talk about?
He asks about other challenges that their company is going to deal with.
So what are some challenges you think he might be talking about? He said something in the first sentence, the first phrase. What is one of the things that he thinks about?
I mean, besides what is mentioned, besides cultural differences and proper
No,
pricing?
cultural differences. That's the one that we're focusing on. Cultural differences and proper pricing. Those are the two key words that we're focusing on.
What is the mean proper pricing?
Proper
How is the better pronunciation, bro?
proper pricing.
Proper what?
Proper pricing. So
Pricing. Oh.
like a sale. So if this book is $20, okay, that's too much. Maybe the proper price would be $12 or $10. So that would be the proper price for this book. So that's proper pricing. What about cultural difference?
The better meaning is sales?
Yes. It's the price. The price.
Okay, thank you.
So what about cultural differences? What is that? What does that mean? Cultural differences. Culture. Anyone else? Someone else? Can anyone help me out with that? Who knows what that means? Cultural.
It's about
Cultural.
their culture, authentic traditions, laws, and regulations, which is mentioned in the second paragraph.
Okay, so cultural differences could be laws. Cultural differences could be if you're like, religion, your religion, like
language.
I know like we have, I don't know if our Middle Eastern friends are in here. I have a couple of, oh no, they're not in the room. But I was going to say like, if you're part of Arabic culture, you pray to Allah, I think 3 times, correct me if I'm wrong, like 3 times a day or up to 5 times a day. So if you're working at a job and they kind of recognize these cultural differences, which a lot of companies do here, they will allow their workers to kind of go and do their prayers, in private. In private, I know that's what we do here in America. A lot of companies will let the Arabic workers go and do their prayers, if they want to go do their prayers. But it's designated. It's a set time where they can do that. And okay, and then Michael, you talked about the second paragraph. What about foreign law and regulation? What does that mean?
Because different countries have different laws and rules, set of rules that people follow. So they can be different from other countries like America or another foreign countries.
Yeah, so one of the strange laws that we have
you need to adapt to them.
Yes, one of the strange laws, I was talking to one of my friends about this. One of the strange laws that we have here in my country, you can marry at 17 years old. That's like in our laws, you can marry, but you have to have permission of your parent to marry at 17 years old. Like you can marry. Generally, you marry when you're 18 at the youngest. but you can in some states marry at 17 years old, but you have to have the permission, written and signed permission of your parent in order to marry at 17 years old. You can marry at 17 years old. You just need permission from your parent. So like that's an example of like just a weird law, a weird law, foreign law, you
In
know,
what country, bro?
in America, in America, in the United
Oh.
States. But it's different in every state. We treat marriage differently. We have a whole system for marriage for the whole United States.
Mhm.
But in certain states, there's like other small laws that kind of guide. These are our kind of like our regulating laws. They kind of guide marriage as a whole. All right. So you can get married. You can get married in the whole United States at 18. But if you're 17 and you want to get married in certain states, you have to follow certain rules. Okay. There are certain rules to get married in our country. So yeah, these are kind of like these strange foreign laws, you know. And when I was living in Spain and I lived in Germany, I had to follow some different set of laws too. I mean, there were things that I couldn't do. Like if you go into like Germany, you have to open up you have to open up a German bank account because you can't get paid using your foreign bank account. You can't send your paycheck to a foreign bank account. I tried to send my paychecks to my American bank account, but you have to put it into a German bank account and then send your money from your German bank account to your American bank account. So that's kind of an example of like a foreign law or regulation, something that's different. I know this is kind of like a heavier topic that we're talking about today. What about the last paragraph? What does it say? Somebody else. What does that last paragraph talk about? Keys to what?
Keys to success of extension your company. So it's mentioned that it's understanding the demands and finding a golden middle or okay, my point is if you demand to extend your company globally, you can put up with every restrictions and regulations because money talks.
Okay. Matthew, do you agree with this? Matthew studies law. Matthew, do you agree with any of this? What are your opinions on this, Matthias? You study legal systems. Tell us something about law.
Legal system in Europe. You mean?
Yeah. Tell me European Union, Europe. Tell me what you know about foreign laws. Like just you could give like an opinion about this and just tell me something because you study it. Like that's something that
I can say many countries who is in European Union and don't have sovereignty and they country.
What do you mean?
These
What
countries,
do you mean?
I mean about in European Union is European law. It's
Okay.
separate law, and this European law regulates, for example, trade in between different countries in European Union, and questions of immigrations, about job.
Yeah, I learned so much
Travel.
about these laws when I lived in Germany. How if you live in the European Union and you get a job there, you have access to the rest of the European Union countries, so you can travel easily to any country that's kind of associated. So like when I was living in Germany, it was easy. It was easy for me to go into the Netherlands. I didn't have to go through a checkpoint. I just went straight into the Netherlands, no stopping, no stops. So that's something that I learned when I lived there. It was much easier to operate in the European Union. Once you're in it, you can kind of move around easily. You can travel to France and Netherlands and places like that. Like they're all connected easily. You don't have to do a checkpoint. I think the only checkpoint I did was in Poland, and then when I crossed into Ukraine, I had to go through some type of checkpoint there. All right. So, any other opinions on that? What would be an important need of a global company? What would be the important need of a global company?
Well, in terms of dealing with other countries' laws, it would be good to hire a lawyer of that country. For example.
Exactly. Like it's good to have someone that that lives in the country, that works in the country, that does business in the country, that was born in that country. They can kind of guide you, but when you get to things that are really detailed, very intricate, very official, very regulated, you may need someone more professional to help you. Like I have a German lawyer that I consult with when I have to do things in Germany, like serious stuff. I have to communicate with her about certain things I can do and certain things that I can't do. And if I have problems, I may need her to kind of intervene on my behalf, because I'm not an EU citizen. So I may need her to use her lawyer ability. So that's a really good one, Rami. That's a really good response. All right, let's look at the question. I heard question. Did someone have an opinion or question or thought? Okay. What do you guys think about, now we're kind of wrapping up now. What do you guys think about online education replacing our traditional education system? So since we moved into quarantine, things are a little bit different. What do you think about online education versus traditional education? My battery is running down. You guys can keep talking. I need to get my charger. Go ahead.
As far as I heard from students, their feedback, they actually says that it doesn't work. It doesn't work that good as it's supposed to work.
Well, it's different because it's a very different way of traditional education. We're not in a classroom per se. We're not in a regular standard classroom. We're more on a digital platform. So it's not that it doesn't work, it's that it's a different way of sending information. It's a different way of communicating new information. And that's one thing I could honestly say about traditional versus. Anyone else have an opinion on digital education?
In my opinion, the online education is better for adults, but personally, for children, it's better to go through traditional education.
Does anybody?
I agree with this statement because when you sit at home and have a class, you feel more relaxed, and children, in terms of quarantine restrictions,